The gymnasium of Bellwood High smelled of cheap cologne, sweat, and desperation as students rushed about preparing for the annual senior prom. For most of them, this was a night to celebrate, to flaunt new dresses, tuxedos, and show off the popularity they'd been clinging to for the past 4 years. But for one girl standing quietly near the bleachers, it was a night she had been dreading for months. Her name was Emily Parker, a girl most people in this school would describe in one word: invisible. Emily wasn't unpopular because she lacked looks or intelligence. She simply didn't speak unless spoken to, kept her nose buried in her sketchbook, and walked the halls like a ghost haunting the lockers. Her long brown hair fell like curtains around her face, always hiding the timid expression she wore like armor. Yet despite her reserved nature, Emily harbored one secret that no one in that gym would ever guess: she had spent years training in martial arts under her grandfather's strict eye. For years, it had been her escape from loneliness, from rejection, from the bullying whispers that followed her like shadows. But tonight, she wasn't thinking about karate or self-defense. She was thinking about Michael Dean. The school's golden boy, football captain, and the reason half the girls came to school in full makeup. Michael was tall, arrogant, and utterly unattainable, yet Emily, against her better judgment, had harbored a quiet crush on him since freshman year. In a moment of reckless courage last week, she had slipped a simple, handwritten note into his locker asking him to prom. No flowers, no poetry, just honesty. She didn't expect a yes. What she didn't expect was the trap he'd set. "Hey, Parker." Michael's voice boomed across the gym. Conversations halted. Heads turned. Emily's heart dropped into her stomach as he approached, flanked by his usual pack of sneering teammates and their equally venomous girlfriends. In Michael's hand, her note. Crumpled. Public. "So, you thought I'd actually take you to prom?" His words sliced through her, each one sharpened by the cruel laughter bubbling around them. "Do you even own a dress that isn't from the thrift store? Or were you planning to show up in your grandma's curtains?" Laughter erupted. Emily's face burned, but she refused to cry. "Not here. Not now." "What's wrong?" Too shy to answer, Michael taunted, stepping closer. "Cat got your tongue, or are you just realizing how pathetic you are?" His girlfriend, Brittany, strutted forward, her acrylic nails clicking against her phone as she started filming. "Let's give everyone a souvenir of this moment." That's when it happened. Brittany grabbed Emily's shirt, an old, oversized flannel, and yanked. The fabric tore with an audible rip, exposing the simple tank top beneath and leaving Emily clutching the shredded pieces like armor. The gym roared with laughter. Phones pointed. Videos recorded. Emily's humiliation was immortalized in pixels before she could even blink. "Guess she's not hiding much under there either," Brittany sneered. Emily's mind screamed for her to run. But then, something snapped. Not fear. Not shame. Something deeper. Something stronger. She let the torn fabric fall from her hands. Her shoulders straightened. Her gaze, usually fixed on the floor, rose to meet Michael's with a calm that silenced the room. "You really shouldn't have done that," Emily said, her voice low but steady. Michael laughed, stepping closer again. "Oh yeah. What are you gonna do, shy girl? Cry to the principal?" "No." She moved faster than he could react. One smooth step, pivot on her heel, and her leg swung with precision honed over years of practice. Her roundhouse kick connected squarely with Michael's jaw. The crack echoed through the stunned silence of the gym, followed by the heavy thud of his body hitting the polished floor. Phones dropped. Mouths hung open. Brittany screamed. Emily didn't stop to explain. She didn't need to. She turned, walking calmly out of the gym as Michael groaned on the ground, clutching his face. By the time the shock wore off, she was gone, but the legend of that kick had already begun. Chapter 2, the day after, no longer shy. The video went viral overnight. Not just in Bellwood High but across the state. "Shy girl destroys football captain with one kick," the headlines read, flooding TikTok, Instagram, even local news outlets desperate for something juicy. By morning, Emily's name was no longer whispered in hallways, it was shouted. Kids she'd never spoken to stared at her with something new in their eyes. Fear. Respect. Curiosity. But Emily didn't care about any of that. She walked into school the next day wearing the same calm expression, the same simple clothes. Only this time, no one dared block her path. No one dared whisper insults. Not after what she'd proven. In the principal's office, Michael sat with an ice pack pressed to his swollen jaw, flanked by his furious parents. Brittany hovered nearby, sniffling dramatically. Emily sat alone on the opposite side of the desk, her arms folded, gaze steady. "You assaulted my son," Michael's mother shrieked. "In front of the entire school. Your son humiliated and physically assaulted me first," Emily replied, her tone as calm as her expression. "There are videos. Hundreds of them." The principal, Mr. Harris, looked between them, clearly struggling. On one hand, Emily's actions were technically violence. On the other, well, self-defense. And public humiliation. Given the circumstances, Mr. Harris said slowly, and the evidence. Emily will receive no disciplinary action. Michael's parents exploded. Michael sulked. Emily simply stood, thanked the principal, and walked out, leaving behind 4 years of mockery like old skin. But the real confrontation waited outside the office doors. A crowd had gathered. Not jeering this time. Watching. Waiting. Brittany stepped forward, her usual bravado crumbling under Emily's unflinching stare. "You think you're special now?" Brittany hissed. "One stupid kick doesn't make you better than us." "No," Emily said. "But it made me free." She didn't explain further. She didn't need to. She walked past them all, head high, shoulders straight. She wasn't invisible anymore, not because she sought attention, but because she'd claimed her power. In gym class later that week, the coach, having seen the video himself, asked Emily to demonstrate the technique. Students lined the walls, watching with wide eyes as she moved through the forms with graceful, devastating precision. Not shy. Not weak. Not afraid. When she finished, even some of the bullies clapped. "Where did you learn to fight like that?" someone dared to ask. Emily smiled, the first genuine smile in a long time. "From people who taught me how to stand up for myself." And from that day on, Emily walked the halls not as a victim, not as a shy girl hiding behind her hair, but as someone who knew her worth, and wasn't afraid to prove it. Her story spread, inspiring others who had spent too long swallowing their words, hiding their bruises, shrinking from confrontation. Emily Parker became a name synonymous with quiet strength and unexpected courage. Bullies thought they'd broken her. Instead, they made her legend.